welcome back to Glow Up with Shelly. Today's video is going to be about something that I get so many questions about, and that is calendaring. So today's video, I'm going to take you step by step through why we should calendar everything. I'm talking your entire routine on a calendar where you can have access to it, what you need to get started, and then how to organize your calendar so that you can get the most out of your skincare routine. So this is all about calendaring. I hope you enjoy this video. Remember, this channel is all about glowing up, transformative skincare, flawless makeup, and a lifestyle to match. If that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I want you to know when I post future videos. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this video because this is such a requested video. I get so many requests for my calendar. Hey, can you post your calendar? You can certainly copy my calendar, but I think it would be better if we just went through a step-by-step how to create your own calendar and I show you how to do it. So that's what this video is going to be about. So first off, let's talk about why we should calendar everything that we do to our skin. I always had a list of like the routines or actives that I use, but I never really created like a calendar before until I started to kind of really just get off track. And my skin started to show the effects. Remember that it takes time and consistency to see results from any kind of treatment that you do or any kind of products that you use. So calendaring really allows you to kind of keep track of all the treatments that you're doing, how long you've been doing them, how many days you've been consistent with it. And it keeps you on track because you have it pre-planned out for you. So you get the absolute most out of your routine. And it's really easy when you think about it to get off routine. And that's what I started doing. I was doing my treatments and then I would be like, wait a minute, what day is this? Okay, I think I'm supposed to chemical. It was just getting really confusing because I had added so many different treatments and elements into my skincare routine because as you guys know, I'm trying to fight the effects of aging, right? Naturally. So the treatments that I do, I have to do pretty consistently and pretty regularly in order to really see massive payoffs. It's easy to skip treatments and forget to do them and think that it's really been only a day when it's been 3 days. Things like that happen, right? We all live busy lives. So because it's so easy to get off track, calendaring allows you to stay on track with your monthly treatment. Okay, so let's talk about what you'll need to get started. Now, I started with an online calendar template through Google Docs, and I showed you that in my last calendaring video. I really didn't like the format of this calendar, mainly because it's like if you put too much on it, then it goes to the next page and it looks really wonky. I just did not like the way it looked. It was hard to fit everything in that calendar. And so as a result, I only had like my major treatments in that calendar. I didn't have like my skincare, what I was doing each day with that. I didn't have a couple of my like massage. I didn't put that in there. And I realized like I get way off track if it's not written down and I don't physically have it. So I just went out and bought a calendar. This was at Target. I think it was $12. It was super cheap. It's just a 24-25 calendar starting with this month. And what I liked about this calendar is it has the month format, right? You have the month format. I don't know if you can see that, but you also have individual days, which I thought was, and these days are really big, right? So you can fit a lot on here. So whatever form you want your calendar, just make sure that it's something that you're going to look at when you're doing your skincare routine. So this allows me to write everything physically on my calendar. I can keep it near my vanity and then I can just open it up and I know what I'm doing. So it doesn't really matter the form, it just matters how you set it up. So grab your tools, meet me back here because we're gonna have a workshop and I'm gonna teach you how to create your very own calendar, how to organize your calendar. So there are a couple of tips for how you should be organizing your calendar. And I always like to start with my monthly routines. So when I'm opening up my calendar, and here I'm gonna open it up, right? I've got a couple of different months. So I have June, right? And then if I go to the next tab, I've got July, right? And then in the next tab, I have August. So here, I would just fill in my monthly treatments for like 3 to 6 months. You need to really make sure that you're spacing your monthly treatments out correctly, right? Because certain treatments will impact your routine for days, sometimes even weeks to follow, right? And that's why we write in our monthly treatments first. So let's just say you decide that on the 17th of June, you are going to do your deep microneedling. So then you would make sure to count out 4 weeks later, right? 4 weeks, because you need a good solid 4 weeks, and then you'd put in your next microneedling session. Then you'd count out 4 weeks, put in your next one. So that's how you're gonna add in your monthly treatments, because those are kind of your big main things. And when I'm saying monthly treatments, I mean like your monthly. So medical microneedling is a monthly treatment. You can't do it more than every 4 to 6 weeks. And then massive, like deep chemical peels that you get at a med spa, that is also going to be a 4 to 6 weeks, only every 4 to 6 weeks treatment. So for anti-aging, medical microneedling and deep peels are going to be amazing. You're gonna see a lot of results. Medical microneedling will help with fine lines and wrinkles, skin elasticity, collagen production, a little bit with tone and texture, not quite as much as peels though. So with peels, you're gonna be looking at things like pore size, tone, texture, of course, collagen synthesis as well, and an increase in elasticity. So both of these treatments are gonna give you really big bang for your buck, but you're not gonna wanna do them but once every month. Now you can alternate medical microneedling with deep chemical peels, but that I would only do that a few times, but definitely wouldn't do that every month, because you're not gonna be able to use certain actives. It's because you'll have to wait like days in between from getting some of these treatments. So you really won't be able to use like the really good actives like vitamin C, vitamin A on a regular basis if you're doing massive treatments twice a month. So I do not suggest you doing that. I suggest once a month, a major treatment, whether it be a deep chemical peel at your salon or that you do yourself, like a TCA peel. And I'll have to do a video on how to do one of those. I'm not a proponent of DIYing that unless you really know what you're doing. It's a lot cheaper at home, just like microneedling. What I do is I do about a few months of medical microneedling, so like 6 to 9 months of that. And then I might do 3 months of chemical peels, and then I'll go back to the needling. And I do light chemical peels in between to kind of keep it up, and those are at-home peels. So you write in whether it's microneedling or a deep TCA peel, that's once a month. You'll put those in first, and then you kind of arrange the rest of your skincare treatments around those. So I just add all these to the calendar. I make sure to space these treatments out properly every 4 weeks. And then I begin to add in my weekly treatments. Now, something to keep in mind, if you're doing some weekly treatments, you need to make sure that you space them properly out from your medical microneedling or your peels. So with microneedling, you're gonna wanna wait 7 days from needling to do any like at-home peels or cosmetic needling, any kind of microcurrent treatment. So NuFace, Zip, those kinds of things. And you're gonna wanna wait 7 days before you do any kind of laser treatments as well. So like Neuro, all of those, you just need to calm it down for 7 days. So you'll take your medical microneedling session and you'll count out 7 days. And the next day is when you can do any of those treatments, right? Microcurrent, cosmetic needling, or light chemical peel. That's your at-home chemical peels. Same thing with a deep chemical peel in the office. And I'm talking deep. When I'm talking deep chemical, I mean a TCA peel or a Vi peel, something that is gonna cause your skin to chuff off layers, like visibly, where it's peeling like a snake skin. That kind of peel is a little bit stronger than your, ordinary 20% AHA peel, right? Which you can do once to twice a week. You can't do that with those deep peels like that. So for that, you're gonna wanna wait 2 weeks after doing a deep peel to do any kind of lighter peels. Okay, so you don't wanna, so if you've got a major chemical peel and you're getting it at a med spa, you're gonna wanna wait a full 2 weeks before doing any light peels. And honestly, I would wait the full month. I wouldn't do any peels that month. That's just me. You're gonna wanna wait at least 7 days to do any kind of cosmetic needling. And you're also going to, you're gonna wanna wait a full 2 weeks before you do like NuFace or Nira. So no lasers, no microcurrent, you just don't wanna do that. And honestly, so it's up to the esthetician that you ask. Some will say 2 weeks, some will say a month. The general consensus on NuFace's website is a month. They say don't use it for a month. I think they're just nervous because you can have some real sensitivity with chemical peels. They are taking layers off your skin. And so there is that potential, right? When you're doing like your NuFace or Nira that you can actually like it can hurt essentially. So I think that's really why they want you to wait more than 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks you're good. So those are the little caveats for the treatment. So you'll wanna just make sure that you map them out and you know like, okay, if I'm doing a chemical peel, I need to wait 2 weeks before I add my NuFace back in. If I'm doing a chemical peel, I need to wait 7 days before I add my cosmetic needling in, and so on and so forth. And if you're doing medical, I need to wait 7 days for this. So just keep that in mind. You'll probably have to replay this a few times. That's fine. But in general, right, you should be able to do a light at-home chemical peel 1 to 2 times weekly and a cosmetic needling session 1 to 2 times weekly. Okay, you don't have to do cosmetic needling and medical microneedling. This is just like the whole kit and caboodle, you know? If you want to do it all, I'm showing you how to do it all today. You certainly don't have to. You can just focus on light chemical peels and medical microneedling, which is going to give you amazing skin anyway. And then maybe eventually you throw in the cosmetic needling. But let's just say, oh no, I really want to do my red light and so on. So this is how you'll add it. You can do red light 3 to 5 times a week. And what I usually do is once I've got all my medical microneedling added in, that's when I go in and add my chemical peels and my cosmetic needling. So my light chemical peels that I do every week, I will wait 7 full days from microneedling, okay? And then I will go in, so let's just say I got my medical microneedling. I wanna use an example calendar because I think it'd be easier if I showed you. So let's just say I'm here in May. It's May 6th. Now I'm just filling out the calendar. I'm not really doing this, but let's just say I decided to put my microneedling session on Sunday. Okay, May 5th. Okay, so I've got my medical microneedling added in to my calendar and I'm gonna wait 7 full days. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So this would be the 7th day, right? So the starting of this week, okay, that's when I can add in my light chemical peels and my cosmetic needling. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to aim for that twice a week. So then I will go here and I will say, okay, I'm probably gonna do maybe my chemical peel this day. And this is just a light chemical peel. Okay, so it's not a heavy one. And then the next day, I'm gonna do my cosmetic needling. And in general, I do a light peel one day and then I cosmetically needle the next day. It's really good. You get all that dead skin off of your face and then you go in and you needle it so the serum goes even deeper. It's a really good way to do it. And you can always do a light chemical peel before you microneedle. That is okay. In fact, in a lot of the med spas that I go to, they have even asked me before, do you want to do a pre-chemical peel? A lot of people like it. It's a great combination. The chemical peels get rid of tone and texture, and they like tone down your, so they help with your tone, and then they get rid of a lot of texture. And so you get rid of all of those dead skin cells, and then you go in and needle over that on that newer skin, and it's really like ba-bang. So it really is very nice for needling. And so I'll do those 2 days in a row. And so I've got those in my calendar. So I waited my full 7 days from microneedling. And then I started my light chemical peel and then my cosmetic needling. So this is the next week. And I know that this week, right to here, is 7 days. So I'm gonna count out, I think maybe I'll skip 2 days and then I'll do my chemical peel here and my next cosmetic needling here. Okay, and that's how you really calendar it out. So you just make sure that you're getting all the treatments that you want in your week and making sure they're spaced out properly. So then once I add that in my chemical peels and my cosmetic needling, then I like to go in and kind of add in things like red light, right? Because the night of my chemical peel, I might use red light before I chemical peel. But I'm probably going to be, like the night that I medically microneedle, I'm not going to use my red light, right? But I might use it 2 days later as my skin starts to heal to promote even more healing, right? So then I can go ahead and add my red light, and I want to make sure that I'm getting it 3 to 5 times a week. So I'm just going to make sure that I add that in 3 times for that week or 5 times for that week, whatever I want. And then once I'm done with all of that, my red light, and you can see I put in red light. Let's just go ahead and put in, so after my medical microneedling, I'm gonna add my red light, and I wanna make sure that I get my good at least 5 red light treatments in for that month or for that week. So here I've got it, my 7 days, and I've got my 5 done for those 7 days, right? And so this is really how you kind of build out your calendar. Now, I know I'm gonna wait 7 days to do new face. I know I'm not gonna do new face on the day that I probably do like a chemical peel unless I do it in the morning, right? But the day after I chemical peel, even though it's a light chemical peel, I'm not gonna use my new face that day. I'm gonna wait a couple of days to use my new face. So I'm probably gonna start it on the 15th again, okay? So really, it's about making sure that you space out your treatments to where you're not overtaxing your skin, right? You're getting your treatments in and you're spacing them all properly so that your skin has time to heal, it has time to regenerate, it has time to build more of that collagen and elastin so that you can make those real skin changes and stay on track. And that's really what calendaring is all about. Once I'm done adding all my treatments in, then I go in and I am going to add all of my major actives. So like I know that after medical microneedling for about 4 days, I'm not gonna use tretinoin, right? I'm not gonna use vitamin A. I'm not gonna use vitamin C. So those are things that will be left off. Also, I like to alternate my serums. So sometimes I like to use copper peptides. I especially use them when I'm cosmetic needling, and I won't use my vitamin C. So like this just kind of helps me, calendaring it out helps me stay on track. Like, oh, today's the day that I'm going to use my copper peptides, right? Because I just needled yesterday. Or today's the day that I'm going to use this. And I feel like it really keeps me on track. I think I made a lot more progress with my skin since I've started calendaring, and I really want to share that with you because I think it really works, but you have to stick to it and you really have to live by this calendar. And I do the same thing at work, right? I live by my calendar. That's kind of how I set my schedule every week and all of that stuff. So the same with your treatments, right? That's gonna be how you set your schedule each week. That's gonna be what you do. And it just becomes like clockwork, right? It becomes easier as you do it more often. Also, you wanna schedule several months ahead of time. And the reason why you do is because you are going to wanna wait like 4 to 5 days before your medical microneedling session. You are not going to want to do anything to your skin, right? You're not gonna wanna use your tretinoin. You're not gonna wanna do a cosmetic needling, right? 4 to 5 days before doing a major medical microneedling session, you're gonna wanna stop all of that stuff. So when you're counting down your 4 weeks from your microneedling session and we're putting it, let's just say we put it on Sunday, June 2nd, right? That time leading up to that Sunday, right? That time leading up about 4 days. So we count back 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You're going to want to stop everything starting on the 28th, at least 27th to 28th. You're going to want to not do like your tretinoin. You don't want to do your cosmetic needling, right? So just keep in mind the things that you need to pay attention to. Things like microneedling and chemical peel, like deep chemical peels. The general rule is, you know, with microneedling, wait 7 days after to do anything, and then 4 to 5 days before, okay? With deep chemical peels, it's really 7 to 14 days after that you want to be careful with what you're introducing, and then about 4 to 5 days before, okay? So the same as microneedling for the before, just on the after, if you're talking about like new face and another chemical peel, you're gonna wanna wait to at least 2 weeks. Now, cosmetic needling, you can start 7 days later. Then after you do that, you can go in, like I said, add all your red light. You can add your facial exercises, your massage, your new face, your zip, your Nero. Just make sure you have these all scheduled when you have time. In like the big area of the calendar, you can even write like AM, PM, right? AM, PM. And then that way you could calendar out what you're gonna do in the morning and in the evening. So it's really up to you how you wanna create your calendar. And then you go in after all of that and you just add in your skincare, your major actives. You don't have to add in like your essences and all the serums that you use, but certainly if you want to, I would suggest that because that kind of keeps you more on track. Like I said, if you're using different serums on different days, or you want to be aware, you know that, hey, I can't use this active because I've just had this session, then putting that into your calendar, putting your serums into your calendar is perfectly okay. It keeps you on track with your serums. It makes sure that you actually do them and get them in, and your skincare is gonna go a long way to helping reverse the signs of aging. Skincare is an important element in all of that. Now, what happens when life happens? Because you may end up having to adjust your calendar for a specific skincare goal that you may have. You may say, I want to really increase my cosmetic needling because I'm really trying to get rid of a lot of acne scarring, or I'm really trying to, get rid of this. So I might, instead of doing my couple chemical peels a week, I might say, I'm gonna take and not do those couple chemical peels, and I might go ahead and cosmetically needle 3 to 4 times a week. I think it's Lance Setterfield who says you can cosmetically needle every single day. I don't agree with Lance Setterfield on this. That's one area I diverge from him. Again, I think I've told you a couple videos. I don't like everything he says, and that's one of the things that he says that I don't always agree with. I do think you can cosmetically needle 3 to 4 times a week would be okay if you weren't doing the chemical peel. You're not going to be able to use tretinoin. You can use retinol when you cosmetically needle, but you cannot use tretinoin. So I think the benefits of using tretinoin several times a week outweigh, right, the benefits of microneedling, cosmetic microneedling, I should say. But you'll want to keep this calendar handy, and you'll want to make sure to try to stick to it as as closely as possible. And if you're doing a lot of treatments, you may encounter or you may occasionally experience some skin barrier issues, especially if you're just starting. And let's just say you created this beautiful routine, it looks like mine, and you get 7 days into it and you start experiencing irritation, dryness, flakiness, redness, itchiness, right? Those are signs that your skin barrier has been compromised. And treatments can compromise your skin barrier, especially when you're not used to doing certain treatments and you do them a lot, like chemical peels, light chemical peels at home. Even if you do them twice a week, sometimes that can lead to some skin barrier issues, especially if you're not someone who regularly exfoliates. So you may have to scale back on your calendar. So my skin had a little bit of a problem. So maybe you decide, okay, so I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna mark off a couple of these things on here and I'm just gonna stick to hydration, put in some hyaluronic acid, and then some really thick, nice moisturizers to really repair my skin. Maybe some like Lipicar or some Cica, something like that from La Roche-Posay that really like heals your skin, right? You're gonna kind of strip it all away and put all that moisture back in, and then you can go back to your calendar. But you have to be aware, if you experience barrier issues, you don't want to just stick to your calendar. You're gonna want to say, okay, I am having a barrier problem. My skin is too sensitive. It's stinging. This is not right. I need to take all of these actives out, all the treatments, stop them for 4 to 5 days, and just hydrate. Pay attention to your skin and work with it to keep it healthy and beautiful, because that's what we're trying to do, is get beautiful skin, right? It does take a while to build up to this kind of calendaring routine, but I definitely think it's worth it. I've seen lots of change in my skin just doing this calendar regularly. So I hope this video was everything you wanted and more about calendaring. I know the time spacing is probably going to be the biggest challenge, because if you don't know how much time you should wait between treatments, that is going to be the biggest challenge to creating your calendar. So feel free to ask questions in the comment box below. And hopefully you like this video. Calendaring is so important, and I really wanted to share this with you today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Glow Up with Shelly.